This video is focused on ganking strategies for Evelynn. If you haven't seen my previous video on Evelynn's stealth, it might be a good opportunity for you to go watch that right now, as it will talk about how to use Evelynn's stealth to your benefit and some of the more advanced strategies that you can use as well. This video will be building upon the strategies learned in that video and helping you to be a better ganker as Evelynn. One small hurdle that you may encounter as you're trying to gank with Evelynn is that people get wise to your tricks and eventually they put in a vision ward. And as you can tell, they backed off when they saw me sneaking to the bushes. However, they're not as smart as they'd like to think, because I sneak around the bottom here where they think they're safe and using misfortune as bait, lure them out, and sure enough, there's a Eve waiting there to kill them off. Once Eve reaches level 4 and still has a red buff on her, it's time to look for something to kill. So let's take note here that she's level 4 and that the middle lanes, top lanes, and even the enemy jungler are only level 3 still. She can be a fast jungler. Also at level 4, she's finally put a point in her W, which gives her great ability to chase as well as jump into combat and try to seal a quick kill. So let's take a look what happens. So, of course, she's stealthed, even if Katarina has a ward. Unfortunately, she's out of luck, and she just blew her Shun Po, and so this is the perfect opportunity for Evelynn to lay an exhaust and seal in the kill. The other thing to note is, since our Diana is really hurting and we don't want her to die to an enemy jungler, I'm going to sit there and push that lane for her. Another popular time to gank for Evelynn is right at level 2. Right after obtaining the blue buff or the red buff, she can now have a level advantage and go and gank an enemy lane who's only level 1 still. Now this is a popular strategy for a lot of junglers, not just Evelynn, but in this case, Evelynn has 1 point in Q and 1 point in E for a lot of damage output. So she's using her stealth to stay just out of range of the enemy Aurelia. Now when Teemo jumps in and lays down Ignite a little prematurely, Aurelia knows something is up. And now she's spotted Evelynn. After she goes ahead and flashes, Evelynn lays down the exhaust to seal in the kill. As the icing on top, Teemo's a little bit low on life, and it's not really safe for him to be out in the lane right now in fear of an enemy jungler, so Evelynn sticks around a little bit to help push that lane, and then goes and makes an exit. In this next ganking scenario, you'll notice that at both the top and bottom of the lane, it has been warded. Wards are Evelynn's best friend. She's a very squishy champion, and she only likes surprises when she causes them. Otherwise, surprises she does not cause oftentimes result in her death. In any case, this feels like a perfect gank opportunity. However, you'll notice that Katarina Shun Po's and then flashes away like a champion. And unfortunately, in a gank sense, this could feel like a failure, but you have to realize this is what I call a successful failed gank. Don't go tower diving, do crazy things and whatnot. You've burned her flash, you've taken off half her hit points, and this really puts her in a weakened position where she even has to decide whether she's going to stay in lane and risking a death or another gank, or whether she's going to go back to base and reduce the amount of experience points and gold that she's racking up. So that flash is down for 4 minutes, and she's not going to be able to use that again for a long time. Consider that a success. Do a round, come back, and gank her later. In this situation, our Graves just managed to take down the enemy Urgot. Now he's left with very little life, trying to hug the tower and defend it against an enemy Blitzcrank. Now Blitzcrank, unbeknownst to me, has a ward in place, so he thinks he's safe. Of course, we all know that that ward, it's not a pink, it's not a vision, isn't going to protect him very well at all. As we continue, we'll notice that even though I'm stealthed, and even though Urgot is not in lane and I'm only dealing with the Blitzcrank, I don't like surprises. Eve doesn't like surprises. She checks the bushes, makes sure things are fine, places down a ward to make sure that no one's going to sneak up on her while she's trying to kill Blitzcrank, and then after she's done the planning and preparation, in she goes. She of course can't expect Graves to initiate, but once she jumps in, Graves jumps right on him as well. We lay down an exhaust, and there's a dead Blitzcrank. As the finishing touch once again, I push the lane just a little bit to even out the minion waves so that Grave won't lose any CS while he's going back and healing up. I'm going to illustrate another example of where planning with Eve can really pay off. In this situation, my team in the blue failed to plan, and they didn't have wards, and so the bottom lane as well as Akali from mid come over and, well, take them down pretty hard. There goes our Nunu in misfortune, which was not very fortunate for them in the least bit. So Akali goes and takes off, and I feel it's my duty to help protect that tower. However, this may also be a gank opportunity. So to make sure that Akali's gone, rather than face checking, I place a ward, and it looks like those bushes are fine. So then to make sure that she's extra gone, I go and place another ward up at the top here by the dragon to make sure that she doesn't come in and give myself plenty of notice. So I run in, I throw down my ult to give myself a shield and do a burst of damage, take down Yi as my biggest concern first, and then Diana with little mana unfortunately isn't able to do much against me before she bites the dust. Once again, planning is essential. Now, one more time for emphasis, because it's not a principle I've really focused on, and that's the principle of when to push a lane as a jungler. Now, this is not just for Eve, this is for any jungler. Normally, it's bad manners to sneak in there and just randomly start killing creeps in a lane. Those creeps are meant for the people who are laning there. However, if you go and you help gank and kill an enemy champion, and your laner is now in an unsafe position to remain in the lane, go ahead. Kill those creeps, push them back, even them out, however you want to do that, because that's a lot of experience and gold for you. It's a lot of experience and gold that otherwise would just get missed because they die against your tower. And likewise, it pushes the lane so that by the time your champion, your buddy, gets back to lane, things are good again. As a final example and treat, less of an instruction, but more fun, here's an example of what Eve can do with a red buff early game. Right now, she's level 3, she sneaks in there, she helps take down a Darius, and then let's go ahead and fast forward this a little bit to get through the rest. So she hides through the jungle, she's stealth, she's going towards mid lane, Viger tries to go in and get a kill, but the Karma there is pretty smart and ends up taking her down. Of course, her flash is now burnt, and she's really low on life, and so Eve sneaks in there, gets a quick and easy kill on her, helps push the lane a little bit to make sure that Viger doesn't miss any creep kills. And then down to the bottom lane. The bottom lane looks like it's being pushed by a Soraka and by a Graves. And so I sneak around, and sorry, that's a dead Soraka. So that's 3 kills and gone from level 3 to level 5 in a very short period of time. That's a lot of money, to say the least. So I stick around to help out my lane just to make sure that they don't die because they're being stupid and they've got really low life. So I go and sneak into the bushes here, and there's the enemy jungler looking for some easy kills. Well, he doesn't get an easy kill, and there I am with 3 kills and 1 assist before the 6-minute mark.